This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trade Native, and this is your live market chat for Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is it February 8th? Let's get this going. Yeah, it's going to be hopefully a easy chat. I know there's a lot of things going on. It's interesting to see some, again, divergences in the market, right? You're seeing certain things act well, certain things not act well. And so if you're taking on trades, you got to define your risk. You absolutely do. And if you're going through earnings, you got to be absolutely careful on what to expect. I see a lot of folks who are like pounding the table about certain stocks going up, and then it's like PayPal. And then certain things going down, like say like Taiwan Semi, and it's not working. It goes higher, you get out, right? Like there's a lot of different little things. Like financials are working, cool. You're all right with that, right? If you're shorting, say, like Intel, that's working. But if you're shorting NVIDIA, that's not really working, right? Like, you got to know your spots. And so Apple, to me, is working from those levels. But do you want to short, say, CRM? No. Netflix, that's working. So hopefully this makes sense. Like, because I think a lot of people are focused on the SPY as is, the QQQ as is, and I get it. Even say like the IWM up a little bit. We talked about going into this week. It was going to be a light data week between an options expiration, between the middle of February, which is typically starts a sell-off, seasonality-wise. Anything was possible. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat this and say, oh, it had to go down or had to go up. Indexes look like they're going up, but are all stocks rising with it? The answer is obviously no. So please be careful. If you have any questions, please check out the Discord room. Links in the description below. Again, always posting our trades on the Twitter. Come on. Or it's, oh, you can't call it Twitter anymore. It's just X, right? It's just X. And then, follow, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Sorry I didn't do a daily market review. I've got some real estate. I mean, as we come more into the spring and summer, you're going to notice real estate starts picking up. I'll obviously have some times where some days it's just, man, it's just going to be a crusher. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a live chat or a daily market review. But however, I will try not to go more than 24 hours between doing either a live chat or a market review so that we can stay updated and can help you guys out. If you're new to the channel, again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Website is about to be done. Slow rolling. Get your recommended reading. If you have any questions, always use the Coulling link. Where is that little sucker? Let me drop that in there for you guys. Use the Coulling link if you want to chat. Talk to Andrew this week, helping him get his credit up, helping him, again, I don't know if he wants to talk about it now, but good dude, needs some help, wants to buy a house, put him in touch with my lender. Love to help with this kind of stuff. If you're looking to sell, you need help, use the Coulling link. Let me see how I can help at worse on that. Because again, I think a lot of people make mistakes when they're dealing with their real estate or they want to become a buyer. They don't even know what the hell they can afford. They don't realize, oh, my credit might not be great. Well, what if there's programs to help you get into a house with mediocre credit, right? Like there's so many things out there. And it's the assumptions that are what hurt us, right? It's the assumption the market only goes up. This only goes down. Real estate is this. So many incorrect assumptions. Like that's the nature of the beast, right? That's why people love to lock into certainty when they don't know. And that's the problem. That's dangerous. That is dangerous, dumb thinking. I tell people all the time, like, do your own due diligence. I might be giving you trade ideas, but don't just sit here and ride it out. Don't just sit here and go, oh, Dan said Taiwan Semi is going to get taken over at some point. Yeah, I still think that is. China's going to get taken over, but doesn't mean the stock can't go higher. These are the things you learn from making mistakes. This is what you learn from making mistakes. You can be wrong. That's why, like Jay Soul says, some of the guys like, hey, stop, hit, don't care. I mean, not like don't care, but it's like that's just the reality. Like if you would have just keep holding, your stop doesn't get hit, man, you're putting yourself in a position to get drilled. Does this make sense? All right, let's go into things. Fed Watch Tool, 19% yesterday. What are we at today? 18.5. Nothing. Still expecting this to change based on the economy and the reaction to the market. This will go up if the market drops. This will hold up if the market holds up. Bitcoin. Watching this, again, I mean, here, can I draw a rectangle within a rectangle? Can we? Yeah, sure. Watching this area. Man, look at it, doubled on it, like for Bitcoin. Like, you got to get over the 44 to 45,000 range. We've talked about this. Or this turns into a head and shoulders top, which could be take you down. I mean, do this to this and then add it on top to this. I mean, it takes it down to here, 30,000. I still, again, on record, we talked about 20%, no doubt. Not surprised it bounced. I still think, again, baby with the bathwater. Feds pull the rug. They pull everything. It goes down. Oil popping today. Yeah, and it just is what it is. Oil inventory numbers. Natural gas. Red alert. Red alert. Back under $2. Your energy bill has doubled, but your gas prices have cut in half. Somebody's getting loving the low natural gas prices. Are they sustainable? That's a big question. We've talked about the KOLD. I mean, I've said this in every daily market review, every recap. Don't be surprised if it goes a little higher and natural gas gets pounded at some point. Now, again, remember, the downside is getting very minimal, in my opinion. But doesn't mean you can't be wrong here. This is where it's hard to obviously get short. So be careful going all in all at once. Maybe take a quarter. Or if you stopped out as needed, look to reload when we get back under a certain level. It's not rocket science. We've talked about the UNG. Like I said, wait for the low end of the range. Here it is. You're actually making new lows. Now someone say, oh, you can't buy down here. Well, you can't. I mean, I like to see retests. I like to see traps. Now you have a reference. I'm not saying I know for sure if natural gas is going to rise. Now we know this ETF will decay, so you got to be careful. But the risk versus the reward, that's the question you always have to ask yourself. Even that small little pop from 2 to 3 in natural gas, like took this thing from 17 up to 27. It's not a bad rate of return. Tell me I'm wrong here. You're wrong, Dan. No, I'm just kidding. That's, please. I have no problem with that. That to me is how you trade. You define your risk. You look for wait. You're patient. You let the trades come to you. Come to daddy. And then once they're yours, you got to act. Financials we've talked about. Love the short. Watching the 8-10 day. I mean, we got a little wick here going. If we can close below it, I get excited. Not really excited, but it just starts to confirm to me that we're topping. It's just going to roll over at some point. We talked about the carries, been crap. I mean, do you need to see it? Just talked about this also too, that, don't be surprised if it chops its way down, kind of like this, right? Goldman, Solstice was talking about this again. I like to give credit where credit's due. High end of range. I mean, when Goldman's ready, here's your starting line. Just set your alerts. Let's do that right now. Set your alerts. When it breaks below this, you can pound the shiznit out of this. Because think about it. Chop, 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 trap, 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 break. Trap, trap, trap. So let's, again, does it have to trap one more time at the highs? I don't know. But to me, let's look at the fibs real quick. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. Love it. Look where the fibs line up. Not going to complain. Another favorite is JP Mo. Chop, chop. Come on. Get below that 8-day, you little pickle. Here's your top. Here's your blow-off retest. This is what I'm talking like for Goldman, if it could get this, like a kind of a... It's another example of maybe NDAQ has the same formation where it just blew out real quick and came right back. That's like the arrow to point lower. Hope that one makes sense. Just kind of watching things, right? Taiwan Semi, let's like dig into this one, because this one, like, at some point, this is really juicy. And how do you want to trade this, right? How do you want to trade this? So we see references up here, right? I'm trying to say, do not be surprised if it got back up here, but I would really be surprised if it got back up here. Like, that would be kind of mind-boggling. But we know there's some gaps up here. Right, so dig into this, right? Give me a minute of your time. Come on, can I get it in there? Squeeze. No, give me 2 seconds. There. You have a gap here, filled. You have a gap. See, you had the open here, close here. So you have a gap at 140. If you see 140, that gets interesting. we have seen this. I mean, this is incredible. Like this rally back up. Now I know ARMS Holdings had good earnings. And again, earnings are all relative. Go look at the earnings. Are they really that good? Or are they just not as bad as expected? That's the question, right? And when you say expected, well, growth, everything is like kind of skewed. Remember, we talk about how earnings, they're always going to try to pump, you know. Sorry, I just got a text. You know, they're trying to pump. You know, who goes into earnings? The CEO goes, we suck. We're terrible. Unless maybe they're just PayPal's CEO. Yeah, I didn't see their earnings like notes, but excuse me, bubbly. I did see the results. Did anyone see this? Not Disney. Disney held up. Got to give it credit, which is interesting. Good PayPal. Oh, it's going to the moon. Remember we talked about, like, I'm not a big fan of bottoming and everyone loving it. And the CEO disappoints. It's like, game over. We'll see. Coin up 8. I'm just watching some of these Bitcoin names. They all look very similar. Watch that 136. MicroStrategy, which is, you know, obviously another proxy. We talked about this one, right? I said even yesterday, like, getting over the 20-day. I mean, said in live chat, getting over the 20 days. Did I say in live chat, or was I just thinking as I was reviewing it? Either way, said getting over the 20-day would be the next. We talked about this level being resistance. You gapped over it. You supported at it. I mean, it's kind of uncanny at times how silly this can be. Look at it. You got to hold that level. If not, I would expect it to be a dumper. But keep in mind, right? Near term, 461, 584. That's a big damn move. Big moves. I mean, great trading proxy. Just be careful, okay? Any questions, thoughts, concerns? Liking the stock this again down. I mean, again, been trying to build a position down here from 5 to 4. I know it's a big like range, but you can get a decent amount of shares for nothing. So are you willing to risk 25 grand, lose 4 or 5 grand maybe if you're wrong, to make a double, triple maybe? I don't know. That seems very logical to me. I love simple probabilities. CCJ was watching this one because everybody's all about uranium. And I've been warning, double top potential. Right? Again, I'm wrong. I'll be right. It's just the nature of the beast. It's okay. Like, I don't have this ego where I have to be right or wrong. Right? Like Costco, here's an example. Saying, watch, said dojis, watch the action. Well, keeps climbing. You're not shorting that. Right? Starbucks, so this is an absolute turd biscuit. Look at it. Look what it did. Watch that 100-day because it seems to like to straddle it. Keep an eye on that. Again, repeating patterns. Federal Express, talked about this one, right? Like, do you really trust transports? And this down here, I don't know. Ag names, just been telling people to lay off of them. There's just it's like, man, just turn the spigot off. Reopen it when somebody wants them. NTR. I mean, again, if you were a market maker or a big dog, you are gladly grabbing thousands of shares every day, quietly, sneakily. And no one knows you're doing it, if that's what you want to do. Let me see what we got here. All right. Caterpillar. Look at this, right? Like we talk about, like blow off tops. Now it's just chopping. Watch that 327 area. I mean, it seems to be very tight action. Tight action shows you what? Anyone have a guess? A venture on such? Tight action to me shows me be careful. Equal number of buyers and sellers right here. And if buyers are trapped and equal number of buyers and sellers kind of peak out, that would leave you with what? More what than what? More sellers than buyers. Tesla, again, credit to, who is it? Stephen Lyle in the Discord room. Yeah, we all said the same thing. I mean, I think all of us said, watch the channel low. It's due to pop. Does it mean it has to go ripping? No, in my opinion, probably not. I mean, I would think the max side might be 218. Maybe. But, yeah. Again, this thing's oversold. Market is holding up. VIX is kind of flat. Not surprised. But it's also surprising like ask yourself this too. Like, am I the only one who thinks like Tesla should be up more? Am I the only one? Leave a comment below because I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like, it doesn't really look that good. It just looks like destruction and chop. Destruction, chop. Destruction, chop. So it needs to pop to really confirm anything. Netflix, we talked about 575, 580 area below the 8-day. I mean, I'd like this for a short, but I mean, you pray for a retest, but I guess you kind of have it. So pray that it just works. AM Dizzle. Watching the 20-day. Tight. NVIDIA 700. Tight. Look at all these fib extensions we're getting into. Do you trust a breakout? And this is the thing. Like I've told people, like if you're long this stuff, please roll up your stops. If you're short, man, you got to have tight stops. Don't sit here and just go, I'm going to hold forever. Because again, it does make sense that it's going to get pounded. But what if you're shorting? I'm trying to think, like, what if you're like 290 and it still ran up to 340? That's going to be some pain that I just wouldn't want to endure. So for names that are holding up, be late. Does that make sense? You can be a little late. Names that give you exact references, things that make sense, things that have chopped out, that don't have like amazing, I mean, gotta give credit, amazing momentum. Yeah, it's going to be easier. Right? So just put these things in the back of your head, planting seeds. Meta, right? Like had amazing momentum, chopping around. Starting line's 453. I mean, are we really going to get to 500? That's the thing. People keep screaming 500. I'm not going to sit here and say I really know or care, but I know all I got to do is set the alarm and wait. Because if it breaks, we good. Good old fruit. I don't know why I didn't think about this. This is one of the ones I'm watching hard for a short on. Look at it. We said, don't be surprised. Now, again, I don't know if Howard's on here. He's like, oh, this is going to 170 pronto. And again, I'm not trying to pick on him by any means, but I've thought that too. Like, we knew earnings. Either way, I said there was two scenarios here that I believe were going to happen to earnings that had the highest probability. It was going to drop and pop or drop and chop. It dropped and popped. Now you're getting back to levels that matter, right? 188, 190, whatever. Pivoting over. Put that in your lunch pail. Keep an eye on that. Intel, we talked about, has just been a donkey. It's below a lot of major moving averages. It's chopping while the market's holding up. It's not really showing you strength or weakness, in my opinion, but it, to me, feels more weak than strong. Solar names. We talked about waiting for them to pop on earnings. I mean, look, there's just no buyers post-earnings. Right? I got my alarm set up here. Maybe I just need to pull it down just a little. Give me that son of a biscuit. There you go. Give me a 125 plus. Maybe I'll start sniffing. First Solars. And we talked. It's broken the trend channel, whatever. Like it's flag, whatever you want to call it. It's box of chocolate up. And Guggenheim. This is interesting, right? Because I mean, look at this. Just condensing at the 20-day. So tight. So tight. IWM, you gotta give it credit for popping today, but it's like, I mean, it's broken below everything and it's lagging so hard. If you're looking at the Stock Trader's Almanac, what is today? A bull day. Okay. We'll see what happens. Even though the SPY's down. Getting tight up here. I mean, credit where credit's due. Bulls have been winning. It's just hilarious to me that the action, like the sellers are still around, but the buyers are just dying and dying and dying. I wonder if you can see that. Let me try to post this. There's like a trend on the volume dying. I wonder if I can get it. Trying to find like the best way to like dynamically draw a trend line. Right? So that's just the nature of the beast. Q. Fake breakout. This is the thing about breakouts. You want to see them on volume because it shows what? It shows conviction. Tight action and small candles. Again, not saying it can't. Again, probability-based game, but that's not what you want to see for a breakout. Like you want to see people out of position chasing it and pushing price up. Like think of like NVIDIA, right? Here's an example. Let me pull up the in bids. Like look what happened. When it broke out, the volume expanded, right? That's what those are what you prefer to see for a breakout, right? All right. Any thoughts, questions, concerns? This has been fun. I love you guys. I hope you know that. Again, I apologize if trades like Taiwan Semi didn't work. Again, I think I've said this and I'll go on record every fucking time. It's how you handle losses that defines your trading. Because winning will happen. Winning will not happen. Right? It's a probability game. You get pocket aces if you've played poker. Or if you've got 2 10s and you split them. Like you're just not going to, even though the odds are in your favor, do you always win? No. So holler at your boy if you have any questions. I appreciate you folks. Like everybody and their mom thinks that trading is easy. And I'm just telling you, it's easy when you're, again, I don't like to say lucky, but think about it. Right? And lucky meaning like, hey, you bought NVIDIA. And so here, I'll give this another second. You bought NVIDIA, great. You bought Intel, oops. Right? Not all stocks are NVIDIA, right? You're buying MicroStrategy, right? Going bonkers. And then you're looking at Coin or PayPal or one of these other names. It's like, right? So you have to be careful. Where is Coin? Give me Coin. Ding, 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 ding. This isn't doing bad today, right? Percentage-wise. But, you know, if you wanted those hundreds of points and those big options, you probably hit some hammers. But in general. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Again, love you guys. Appreciate it. Just pulling some names up. Let's look at Northrop Grumman. Just curious. Okay, yeah. The good old Biddy. Tiggle Biddy. The short ETF for Bitcoin. Man, someone definitely loaded it at 11. Interesting. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up. 22 minutes. This might be a record short live chat. I apologize if this isn't convenient for your timing. Tried to put it out as early as I can. I'm just trying to see if there's any options action out there that's kind of curious. Again, we have 30-year bond auction results. Not hot, in my opinion. Not so hot right now. Watching the TLT, right? Not great, not bad, but I mean, you'd be an idiot if you bought HYG, in my opinion. Missed it. What'd you miss, Andrew? You don't really miss anything, right? It's always another trade. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys. Leave a message. Hit me up if you have any question. I'll talk to you guys and gals later.